Hey everybody, welcome back to another. It's not really like a VGC video yet. It might affect VGC in the future, but for right now, I want to talk about the most interesting thing that's come out of all the stuff in Pokemon Legends Arceus, to me anyway. And that's very small spoilers. They're like not even really spoilers. Just like if you don't want any spoilers at all, you should probably click off. But it's not like I'm not showing off new Pokemon or anything. You know what I mean? It's just like weather conditions and status conditions. So if you don't care about that, then you're free to stay. And that's basically it. Like the most interesting thing is what they've done with the status conditions and some of the weathers. They have changed what they do, and I'm interested in just talking about what those are and maybe like potentially how they could transfer over if they would transfer over into a mainline Pokemon game because it's kind of weird. So first, let's talk about the weather. Um, there's a completely new weather. It's snow. There's no hail at all in Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's snow. And what snow does is you don't take damage like you do with hail, but it makes you more likely to be inflicted by frostbite, which is the new status condition we'll talk about in a second. It's replacing freeze, but snow makes it more likely that you get affected by frostbite. And if you're drowsy, which is the other new status condition we're going to talk about, makes it more likely that you won't move. And then lastly, all ice type Pokemon get a speed boost in the snow, which is its speed means something different in Legends Arceus than it does in a regular Pokemon game, so that's kind of a weird thing. But no hail in the game, only snow. Rain is different because it doesn't increase the power of water type moves. It only decreases the power of fire type moves. Sun, it doesn't power up. Hold on. Yeah. It doesn't power up fire type moves, and it doesn't reduce the strength of water type moves. All it does is it makes grass type stronger, similar to how the snow condition makes ice type stronger, or faster rather. It makes grass types faster. And then fog is just reduces accuracy, so it's the same as before. And this is really weird, right? Like, I don't know, they have hail, like why wouldn't they just use hail? They made snow, it's a new condition. And it feels like it's the status condition weather, which is kind of weird. So now we're going to talk about these new status conditions, and then we'll kind of like bring it all together at the end. So the first new status condition here is frostbite. Basically what it is it's ice type burn. You lose 1/16 of your max HP just like burn, and then it halves your special attack instead of having your physical attack. So it's literally like burn, but for special attack. It's exactly the same. And any move with a chance to inflict frostbite has doubled chance to inflict frostbite if it's snowing. Now, there's no like abilities or anything, so I don't know if there's a way for you to set the snow. It's probably just regions that have snow. But like that's really, I feel like this is a good change to give to freeze. Like this makes freeze like a good status condition that's fair. But this would be like a huge change. This kind of makes sense to me if they just like changed freeze to frostbite. Okay, now we have frostbite. And I think it's fair for like hail or snow or whatever it ends up being to like double the chances. That's fine too. There aren't any games that just straight up inflict frost. There aren't any moves that straight up inflict frostbite, so it's only moves with a chance to inflict frostbite. So I feel like that's fair. The other new status condition is drowsy, and it's replacing sleep, but it's kind of like it's kind of like paralysis, but instead of having your speed, you take more damage from attacks. It's pretty weird how they decided to do it. I mean, I guess it makes more sense for a game like Arceus where you can attack more than once per your opponent, like to have sleep not be determined by a certain number of turns, but like maybe you just won't move every once in a while. I don't know if they're gonna replace sleep with drowsy. I feel like it'd be more fair in some ways and less fair in some ways, because it'd be more like paralysis or confusion, where like you have no control over it. Every once in a while, you just get hit. Whereas with sleep now, at least you can go, okay, it's been one turn. I at least have a chance to wake up, and then after 3 turns, you know you're going to wake up. Does that make sense? I don't know, it feels kind of weird. And then in the snow, you are more likely to not move. Like, even more likely to not move than you were before. There's no percent chances on this. Nobody's like found the exact percent chances of anything yet. But yeah, it's just pretty interesting. Like, there's no sleep, there's no freeze, there's no hail. Now we have snow and drowsy and frostbite. And I'm mostly just interested. Like, the biggest thing for me to come out of Arceus is this, and I don't know how they're gonna translate into a mainline Pokemon game. Like, the changes with Rain and Sun, I don't think those are gonna stick. Like, there's no way they're just gonna give they're gonna like nerf Rain that hard. It doesn't really need it. They're not gonna nerf Sunlight and make it only for grass type Pokemon. It doesn't need it. The speed boost thing, like I said, it makes more sense in a game like Arceus than it does in mainline Pokemon, because if every grass type was faster in the sun, there'd be no reason to have the ability Chlorophyll. So I don't think this is gonna happen. Same thing with the speed boost that all ice types get in the snow. I don't think they're gonna add that to Hail, because if they do that, then there's no reason for the ability Slush Rush. There's no abilities in this game, so it makes a little bit more sense. But I do feel like they could take some of the stuff from Snow, some of the stuff from Frostbite, and just like change Freeze and Hail for the better. Like I said, like if they took Freeze and just made it Frostbite, I think that would be pretty fair. Honestly, like, I wouldn't mind at all. And ice type Pokemon are immune to being frozen, which makes sense, just like fire types are immune to being burned. So like that feels really fair to me, because right now Freeze doesn't do anything but make you not move forever. And there's no moves that there's no like competitive way to use Freeze. If you make it Frostbite, it becomes a pretty healthy mechanic, I think, because right now special attackers are just like outright better than physical attackers most of the time, because of stuff like Intimidate and Burn. They can affect your physical attackers, they can attack your special attackers. So this makes that kind of fair. As long as they don't give it into an Incineroar, I'm down. Then Drowsy, it feels, like I said, it feels more fair than Sleep in some ways, but it feels less fair than Sleep in some ways. Like, I like that you're not like 100% not gonna move. You have a chance to move, and then you take a little bit more damage from attacks. I'm assuming it's only a little bit. I'm assuming it's not like, double damage, because that would be kind of broken. Yeah, and then there's like new moves for these status effects. We don't have to talk about the new moves right now. If you want me to talk about the new moves, let me know. I will talk about them if that's what people want. Mr. Wolfie Glick just released a video about them, if you want somebody who's probably a little bit more better at talking than I am to talk about them. Anyway, yeah, that's just, I know I'm just kind of rambling, but that's just like my general thoughts on this stuff. It's really interesting to see, because the weather dynamics haven't really changed in such a long time, and for them to just say, okay, well, there's no more hail, only snow, and there's no more freeze, there's only frostbite, and there's no more sleep, there's only drowsy. That's kind of interesting to me, and I just want to see what they're gonna do in Gen 9 with this, because either I feel like it's gonna only be some of it, but like it could be none of it. It could be all of it. You know what I mean? I was reading about Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and it's the way that these new weather conditions work actually kind of sounds like Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, because there is a snow weather condition in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, and it increases the speed of ice types, which is pretty interesting. So maybe like they're borrowing from that. Maybe we're gonna see more of those mechanics in our mainline games, or maybe maybe it's nothing. Maybe all of this doesn't come to Gen 9. Who knows? Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. What do you think's gonna happen with this stuff when it goes into the next Pokemon game? That's really what I'm most interested in. Like, the new Pokemon are cool. They do cool new things, but these are game changers. These are things that like affect the entire competitive scene more than just a single Pokemon. Anyway, guys, my name's Andrew. I'll catch you guys next time.